Welcome, everyone. It is Thursday, October 3rd at 12 noon Eastern Time here in the booming metropolis right outside of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, known as Ambler, PA. And you know what that means. We're in Ambler. It's Thursday noon. It's time for Talent Experience Live, the show that covers everything that you need to know in talent acquisition, recruiting, talent management, human resources, and artificial intelligence. We like to say around these parts that it is the greatest show on the internet, and no one has said otherwise, so we're going to keep running with it. I am your host, gondolier and tour guide, Devin Foster, and today we're diving into AI ethics. But before we get into that, we always have to pay the bills around these parts. Otherwise, they turn the lights off on us. Talent Experience Live is proudly brought to you by the good folks here at Phenom, whose purpose is to help 1 billion people find the right work. That's not a typo. It is why we host this show on a weekly basis, why we have fantastic webinars, why we hosted AI Day a couple weeks ago, why we were at HR Tech last week, why we have great blogs, and everything in between. So if any of that interests you at all, head on over to phenom.com, see where we will be next, where you will most likely be smacked directly in the face with our intelligent talent experience platform that helps candidates find the right fit faster, employees evolve in their current roles and beyond, recruiters achieve next level productivity and efficiency, and managers get to build better teams through data analytics and automation. Of course, all of that is powered by super slick artificial intelligence and machine learning. And just like I said before, head on over to phenom.com to learn more. See what events we're going to be at. I know we announced I Am Phenom just a few short weeks ago, so register for that. You can check out any of our upcoming events and things in between, and we look forward to having you there. But getting back to the topic at hand as I take you through the canals of artificial intelligence. Today we're talking about a pretty hot topic. It's serious in a sense. Today we're talking about AI ethics. Now, we all know that artificial intelligence is all the rage. It's on our phones. It's on our laptops. It is on every single news organization right now. It's even the topic of some political things. And what we're going to dive in today is how all of this, great power comes great responsibility. Shout out to Peter Parker, their Spider-Man. I think it was his uncle that said it, actually. But we had AI Day a few weeks ago. There were a plethora of fantastic guests, but we really closed out the show with something that's truly meaningful, I think, when we talk about this technology, the way that it affects lives, and that is the ethical piece. So we're going to show a couple clips from AI Day, starting with Sadie Bell of HPE. She's going to talk about how they are leveraging it and how important it is to remain ethical with artificial intelligence. There's also a couple phenoms that are going to do some demonstrations and talk about how AI has affected their lives, as well as how Phenom is approaching generative AI and AI as a whole to ensure that you are in compliance, to ensure that you stay responsible with this technology, because we truly do believe that it can help 1 billion people find the right work, but only if we use it correctly and responsibly. So without any further hesitation, here is the AI ethics portion of AI Day. Thanks so much.
Hi, I'm Sadie Bell. I'm the Vice President of Innovation and Deployment of People Systems, Digital Experience, and Intelligence at HPE. And I'm happy to be with you here today for AI Day. At HPE, we're not new to AI, nor are we new to AI responsibility. In fact, we're leaders in the industry, really focusing on how artificial intelligence can innovate and help transform positively the way we live and work. We're advocates of high ethical standards, and you see that in every product, technology, and innovation that we deliver. AI is for good. AI is for everyone, but not everything. And just like AI is transforming and revolutionizing the world and many aspects of the way people live and work, it's having the same impact in HR. And I couldn't be more excited about all of the future and present applications of artificial intelligence that will be infused in HR processes and in the way that we build organizations, teams, and people to be high performing and delivering solutions across industry, businesses, and functions around the world. Specifically in HR, I'm excited about all of the new ways we'll be able to do talent acquisition, how we'll be able to increase employee engagement. Think about our ability to provide psychological safe rooms and spaces where people can interact and talk about the things that they want to, understood by technology that can both think, remember, forget, and process information and return information to individuals that's relevant, accurate, and safe for them to consume. I'm excited about the learning and development opportunities that we have to meet the learner where they are and take them from exactly that place and scaffold them light years ahead of where they would be had they not had the infusion of artificial intelligence to help them along the journey. Performance management has seen a new age in the age of intelligence by being able to go to all of the places where we have information at the edge and bring that information together to provide a starting point for people leaders to be able to evaluate and effectively manage or enable performance for high-performing teams. Across the hire to retire lifecycle, HR is going to be and is one of the greatest beneficiaries of artificial intelligence. Our focus in human resources is on the human and it's on the people. And this is why we believe that artificial intelligence is for everyone, but not everything. It cannot replace integrity. It will not replace activities and notions of care and love and respect. And it will not be an excuse to behave unethically and to challenge or compromise human rights. At HPE, we believe strongly in human rights and ethics, and this is why we have an AI Ethics and Responsibility Council that starts at the top of the house and permeates throughout the entire organization. It's infused in our processes and services in the way we deliver technologies to our customers, and it's also infused in how we consume technologies from other entities, our partners, our friends, and our distributors of our technology as well. Ethical guidance and ethical responsibility, reducing bias and mitigating, training employees is key to being able to transform our workforce ready for the future. In HR, it's a high-risk game to infuse artificial intelligence into our technologies and our services for engagement, for productivity, and for the future of work. But we can mitigate those risks by ensuring that we stand up to the highest ethical principles that are there. When we think about infusing artificial intelligence into our products and services, whether those products come from our partners or they're developed internally by our teams, we look to make sure that we uphold high ethical standards, ensuring there's always a human in the loop, that we produce trustworthy AI that's vetted and validated by a human to make sure that it's producing an understanding that we can trust and use. We check to make sure that the AI is actually reducing the bias and not proliferating bias. We understand that artificial intelligence is and can be a friend, and we like to remove all the ways that it can be a foe. We do this with training. Education is key. There's a lot of fear around using artificial intelligence today. People believe that it will challenge their jobs. And I agree. It will do something in a C, it will challenge, but most importantly, it will change the way people live and work. And so we want to make sure it does it in a way that is not harmful to humans and does not challenge or change human rights. Data privacy, algorithmic bias, and transparency are key risks that we evaluate and look at all the time to ensure that we're not using technology, innovation, and AI that produces bias that's not transparent and repeatable. We have a collaborative framework, regular audits, and stakeholder engagement where we look to make sure that the artificial intelligence that we're using in our processes and services or in our functional devices are at par and above minimum standards, and we're leading in those standards. Staying ahead of emerging technologies is critical. With continuous learning, innovation labs, industry collaborations with our partners, service providers, and our customers is one way that we do that. We stay at the cutting edge of innovation, and we're excited about the integration of artificial intelligence in HR, which is going to offer tremendous potential. It's going to enhance efficiency, engagement, and development of people, which is at the heart of what we do in HR. However, it's crucial to ensure that we are ethical and responsible and addressing key risk, auditing, checking, and verifying that the ways that we are infusing AI into HR processes, whether it's helping to deliver a more qualified and diverse candidate pool, or boosting employee engagement, helping with learning and development or career pathing, or freeing a people leader's hands to address a personal situation and concern, rather than spending tremendous amounts of time pulling data together to write a performance review. I couldn't be more ecstatic and excited about what AI is doing for HR today. Really, I want to thank you for listening, and I want to turn it back over to the hands of those who will be taking this program forward. Happy AI Day.
Welcome back. Let's talk about ethical AI governance and compliance in practice at Phenom. Why is it that we do what we do, and how do we do it? As a company, we have ethical AI principles that we wish to see in our products and in our ways of working. Let me summarize a few of them for you. We've thought long and hard about what these should be. We want to help 1 billion people find the right job. We want to avoid creating or promoting bias through our software. We want to keep the human in control of the AI. We want to ensure that the AI technologies we build are adaptive to different circumstances, they're inclusive of diverse stakeholders, that they're explainable when explainability matters to the user. And we want to build privacy and security as building blocks from the ground up. We also want to consider interdisciplinary perspectives. Turns out that if you look at the science of statistics, of machine learning, of IO psychology, they have different conceptual understanding of what bias even is. It's important to understand these differences. It's important to put them together as we devise a consistent governance framework to drive our technology development. The governance framework we have built, it's a practical tool. It synthesizes these interdisciplinary perspectives, it synthesizes these principles, and it allows, and it's tangible. It's a real document. It's available to our customers if they wish to see it. It's a shared vision of how we put principles into practice. And the governance framework, it really guides us to do two things. It guides us to perform risk assessments for the various technologies we build, and it guides us to mitigate those risks as appropriate for different technologies. For example, these are some of the risk assessments we've considered. Think about fit score for a moment. The main risk of fit score is that it may introduce demographic bias, and that risk may change on how fit score is used in a particular employment context. The risk assessment suggests some ways that Phenom and customers can mitigate this risk. Consider the proactive approach we've taken to mitigating risk for large language models. We include aspects of mitigation like masking PII data, like detecting prompt injection so that our prompts are executing the way we want them to be executing. There's a secure gateway for interacting with external systems. All these are critical components of risk mitigation for LLMs that are active on the platform today. For FitScore, we have likewise a proactive risk mitigation approach. So for any new model that we develop, we can use our internal capacity for measuring adverse impact before it goes into production. This is really critical. That means that this is really a stronger approach to mitigation than traditional adverse impact measurement for typical assessments in the employment context. The typical approach is you have an assessment, you put it in production, and you hope you didn't create adverse impact, and you measure. But we can measure using historical data before the horse is out of the barn. So model upgrades and so forth can go through this tooling that we have built. Naturally, proactive mitigation and retrospective mitigation are all features that we can bring to the table. But how is it that these tools play out in practice? For HR teams that are interested in our AI products, what we bring to the table is starting with a whole bunch of documentation. There's the governance policy you saw. We have a detailed document on ethical AI development at Phenom. We have a community feature where all of this documentation is available to our customers. We have worked closely with customers in highly regulated industries that need to perform model risk management. And we've done very extensive documentation of model risk management together with those customers on how they're deploying our models. And we have been following very closely developments on new AI legislation around from various jurisdictions. We have provided guidance to our customers on New York City's Local Law 144, on legislation in Colorado, most recently the EU AI Act. You'll hear from Cliff more about that in a moment. And California is on our radar at this moment. And so taken all together, this documentation has been instrumental for enabling customers to use and adopt Phenom AI. Second big category of ways that we help our customers adopt product in a safe and a compliant way is product functionality. So there is audit support for OCCP reporting for customers that are federal contractors in the United States. There's the ability to enable or disable AI by, say, a certain geography so that you're not running the risk of not complying with some particular piece of legislation. There's a certain opt-out functionality that you might want to enable for compliance with a particular regulation. And the final way that we think about helping HR teams put our AI into practice is by applying best practices, especially from IO psychology. So we have an annual adverse impact report that you can use to comply with New York City's Local Law 144 and the relevant federal guidelines also, federal guidelines, because it's at the end of the day, it's measuring adverse impact. We're also pushing on innovation around validity. You'll hear more about that from my colleague Vignesh in a moment. Validity is a critical component of ensuring AI safety. But before we get to validity, let's go into some depth on the EU AI Act and how that is playing out in the marketplace. Cliff?
Great. Yeah, let's talk about the EU Act. One of the very first comprehensive regulatory frameworks addressing AI is the EU AI Act. We're already seeing core principles across many proposed and enacted regulations, including fairness, transparency, and accountability. This Act's focus is to protect individuals from the potential harm caused by AI systems. So we look at the timeline for the EU AI Act. It went into force about a month ago, August of 2024, and then it will go into full force, the applicable force in August of 2026. Now, there's some things that are going to happen in between that time period, which just generally means, you're seeing it here on the screen, that there's going to be some updates and a little bit of evolution of this. This is something that we expect at Phenom, and we're paying close attention to those regulatory changes that will come about. And you see that word high risk a lot. And so, the EU AI framework is a risk-based framework. It categorizes things from low to unacceptable. We don't know exactly where the HR systems are going to fall into that, and that's going to play out over the next couple of years. But we're not waiting for that to happen. And what we know from our vision is that technology plays a key role in pursuing our purpose to help 1 billion people find the right work. But our focus has always been on advancing humanity through meaningful work. We've taken a clear and strong stance on ethical AI, putting the human interest in front of everything that we do. Our technology is designed to improve efficiency while ensuring fairness, transparency, and the human element remains central to the talent process. As regulatory environments evolve, there are core elements that we spoke of that are shared across many of these enacted and proposed regulations. We've been leading the way in innovating AI features with the Phenom platform for over a decade, ensuring that transparency, the explainability, the auditability. These innovations meet regulatory expectations and set a new standard for responsible AI use in recruitment. We commit to meeting or exceeding all of the standards of EU AI Act as they evolve. We've been here before. So if you think about GDPR as a really good example, May of 2018 is when GDPR went into effect, and we were ready well in advance of that. But that framework gives us an understanding of how lawmakers, especially in the EU and potentially around the world, are looking at governing these technologies. And so we're ready for that as a basis, and we know AI technology inside and out. We've anticipated the core elements that matter most in AI regulation, and we innovate to stay ahead. We don't wait. Partnering with our clients is a key to ensuring they're well prepared for future regulatory requirements. So what we do and what we ask is to engage our teams, engage your teams with the use of AI tools that offer that level of transparency, accountability, and fairness, all required by today's standards and tomorrow's regulations. The Phenom platform is built to empower you with the innovation, insight, and auditability needed to stay ahead while always keeping human interests at the forefront of everything. Together, we can shape the future where AI is used responsibly and people find the meaningful work that they deserve. And now, speaking of validity, let me hand the baton over to my friend Vignesh, who's going to talk about comprehensive validity study for FitScore. Vignesh.
Thanks. Hi everyone, I'm Vignesh. I'm an IO psychologist here at Phenom. Phenom is combining the world of IO psychology, psychometrics, and modern AI to bring you the next step in hiring compliance. Now, a key element of compliance is relevance. According to the EEOC guidelines, the best way to ensure that your hiring tool is both safe and fair is to make sure the tool only gauges qualities of applicants that are needed and required and relevant to a job. The innovation we're going to present on today is that we can now measure, quantify the job relevance of FitScore. Specifically, this kind of measurement is called criterion validation. Now, criterion validation may sound like a fancy technical term, but really it boils down to one very simple question. Does FitScore predict what we build it to predict? Now, criterion validation is known in IO psychology to be quite a challenging thing to establish, but it is considered the gold standard of validation. And here at Phenom, we're able to criterion validate FitScore, an advanced AI model. Because FitScore is more than just a traditional hiring assessment or hiring tool, it comes with unique challenges for its validation. The first is its massive scale. The second is its issue of identifying the right criterion. In IO psychology, we call this the criterion problem. And lastly, it's the issue of causality. Now, traditional approaches to validity are a bit limited. They often look at smaller samples and use generalization techniques like meta-analyses to make inferences at the population level. But Phenom is an AI company. We are experts at scalability. We don't need to worry about samples. We can measure and validate FitScore directly at the population level, giving you far more accurate results. Not only that, we have built our validity into a larger data analytics architecture as just one key component. The same engine that has brought to you adverse impact is now bringing you validity. Now, the issue of finding the right criterion, as I mentioned before, is a common one in IO psychology. It's quite a challenge. And this challenge is magnified when you consider that FitScore is a large-scale AI tool that has many different use cases. FitScore can help recruiters hire candidates. It can help recruiters move candidates into different stages of your hiring process. For example, towards the hiring manager, or towards interviews, or it can filter candidates to different screening procedures. So, which of these criterion did we choose? How do we identify what works best? Well, our solution is not limited. We chose all of them, all at once. Phenom engineers have decoded recruiter actions, such as hiring progression, into a standardized metric called the Phenom Hiring Progress Indicator, which gives you a unified value of a candidate progressing in the hiring progress. This indicator is filtered into our data analytics architecture, where it serves as a criterion for validity. You can play the video now. Thanks. Now, our challenges don't just stop there. Another key issue we identified is the issue of criterion contamination. Now, if you're looking at this video, you can kind of see that a recruiter is making a decision to progress a candidate. But how do we know that this recruiter is moving a candidate because the candidate is the best candidate for the job, or the best candidate to move forward, or because they simply saw that they had a higher fit grade? There's no way to know when you use a live indicator of progression if it's going to contaminate FitScore. This is the issue of causality that I spoke of earlier. You can move to the next slide, please. Thanks. Oops, there we go. So the way we address this issue is through a logistic modeling approach, really a variation on this approach. This approach lets us give you a probability of being hired or moving in the hiring process as a function of FitScore. And importantly, it pulls out any issues of contamination that I spoke of earlier. One more key aspect of this modeling approach is that it's quite powerful and very flexible. We can add in additional control and input variables, really allowing us to dig deep on FitScore validity. Through all of these different solutions and innovations, we're able to bring you one of the largest scale validation efforts in the United States. So what did we find? We found that FitScore, in 95% of the cases that we tested, exceeds minimum thresholds of validity. This is great news, but our ambitions don't stop there. In several cases, we found that FitScore exceeds even ideal validity thresholds. Of course, there are definitely areas for improvement, but through our validation engine, we're able to tell you exactly where those holes may be and fix them quickly. Digging a little deeper, we're able to show that FitScore validity is stable over time and between various types of jobs. And finally, our validity architecture gives us the opportunity to investigate key research questions. For example, earlier today, probably several times, you've heard the term human in the loop. But we can be a little bit scientific about what human in the loop means. What is the true impact? Can we quantify the value of human in the loop in traditional or in modern AI? Here's what we found. We found that FitScore on its own performs extraordinarily well. But when FitScore is combined with Phenom's human-in-the-loop options, such as setting matching criteria, it always exceeds its performance than it does on its own. Questions like this is what we can answer with our validity architecture. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Vignesh. It's one of those things where we don't sit around and wait for the market to tell us how to move forward with something new. And this validity on fit score is really important, because the question is, how can I trust and have confidence in what the AI is showing me? And that's really important. So thank you for sharing that. You know, at the beginning of today, I asked each of you that are listening and watching to reflect on a single question, which was, who's responsible for the adoption of AI? And I hope to answer that here. One evening at my home, my 5-year-old son Sagan asked me, "Dad, who is AI?" The who part of Sagan's question may have come from him overhearing me talk so much about AI in a way that personified the technology. And Sagan might be onto something. Still, his curiosity threw me sideways. Even with my decades of experience, I found it very difficult to explain AI to him. AI isn't just another invention like the airplanes he loves to play with, or the smartphone, or even the internet. It's something far more complex and wondrous, something we're still trying to fully understand and define. But what exactly did we create? How do you describe a new technology with such evolutionary capabilities so simply that a 5-year-old can understand it? This invention, this innovation, is unlike anything in our history, and we don't yet fully understand or comprehend it ourselves, while at the same time, we're confident in how powerful it could be for humankind. I would imagine that it's kind of like Isaac Newton trying to explain gravity to a passerby just after the apple fell on his head. It symbolizes a simple yet profound observation that led to a groundbreaking understanding of natural forces. And we are now at the cusp of understanding AI's immense potential through its seemingly simple yet transformative applications. It may even be a new force of nature. Why? Well, this transformative capability ensures that the power of collective human knowledge is not just accessible, but also comprehensible and actionable for every human, thereby amplifying our own potential. In fact, today, the average person already interacts with AI 60 to 150 times per day or more. These interactions include everything from unlocking our phones with facial recognition, filtering spam emails, transcribing voice messages, searching for information, to even predictive text and autocorrect features we use when we're typing. These advancements have made AI an indispensable part of our daily routines, revolutionizing the way that we interact with technology and, of course, each other. AI may matter most in our people organizations. It's where the everyday worker, not just a researcher or a doctor, will meet and use AI to do the bulk of the tasks that they do today. For recruiters, AI-powered agents can streamline and unify the hiring process by sourcing, scanning resumes, assessing candidates' qualifications, creating personalized communications, and even conducting initial interviews. This allows HR professionals to focus on more strategic tasks, such as building relationships, advising the business on strategy, and identifying key talent areas for growth. For employees, AI can personalize career development paths, identify skill gaps, and provide tailored training resources in seconds. It means a more efficient, data-driven approach to talent strategy and management, ensuring that the right people are in the right roles and employees have clear paths for growth and development. You know, Phenom has over 1,600 talented people around the world focused on bringing AI to market, with our Phenom X Plus Gen AI platform and groundbreaking AI agent technologies. By doing so, we are creating an unprecedented transformation in the HR tech domain, providing comprehensive solutions that leverage AI to create an intelligent talent experience, unifying technology with human ingenuity in meaningful ways and with a single purpose: to help 1 billion people find the right work and keep it. However, we must embrace the manageable challenges to avoid the far greater peril of ignoring this transformation. It is crucial to activate and engage with these AI tools enthusiastically today, not tomorrow. Do not wait for outside forces to decide for you. Each of you should actively demand access to AI tools and opportunities to build new skills based on these technologies. You do not need permission from anyone to evolve. You can and should have the right to redefine your role and your value in the workplace. Speak to your leaders and colleagues about the importance of these tools. Explain how AI can enhance productivity, innovation, and competitiveness. Ask them to invest in AI training programs and ensure that these technologies are available to everyone. By doing so, you not only secure your own future, but you also contribute to the overall growth and success of your organization. As we forge ahead in developing AI for a betterment of humanity, it's vital that AI amplify our human qualities rather than diminish them. Okay, so let's end where we started. Who is AI? As one AI expert said, AI is a mirror of humanity. It is us. Thank you for joining us today.
With great power comes great responsibility. I think that outlined all of the benefits that AI can provide human resources, but also truly stressed how if we don't use it correctly, it could go wrong. So thank you so much, everyone who was involved in AI Day a few weeks ago. I thought it was important to re-air some of the ethical concerns and things around that, especially as we enter the election cycle and legislative initiatives are beginning to be talked about. Hope everyone enjoyed the episode as much as I did. I got a couple rows in on my gondola. Can't wait to go on tour with you all next week. We're going to be diving into Customer Obsession Day, which is just around the corner for Phenom. And can't wait to hear what that will entail, as well as what to expect and why you should register. So hope everyone has a fantastic weekend. It's Thursday, and you know what that means. It's time for picks. We hit the nail on the head last week with the Dallas Cowboys. Tonight, got the Atlanta Falcons. Hope everyone has a fantastic weekend. We'll see you real soon. Thanks.